Hi, welcome to Educator.com again, and we're going to have another lesson in Adobe Illustrator CS6. Today we're going to talk about effects. Now we've talked about some effects already, so these are some other effects, and there's even more effects. We can only do so much in one session, so we're going to cover a few effects today. Now, so basically gradients, gradient mesh, blends, transparency, pattern fills, pathfinder, offset passing, clip and mask. Okay, so let's get to it. So basically, oops, let me select the right layer. Basically, when you have an object, there's a few ways you can apply a gradient. So I can click here to apply a gradient, and this automatically is always defaulted to black and white. You can make it, and the gradient panel automatically opens up also when you click that. So, or you can just go straight to the gradient panel, since it's going to open up anyway and you need it, because you may not want black and white. But if you want black and white, it's there. You're already done. Now, if you want to put some colors in, you will double click here to bring up the color palette, and also you can bring up these in RGB, which we've seen before, CMYK, but we'll just use the color palette for now. Okay, so click that, so you see that's the red there, and double click this slider here, and let's go to a blue. All right, now while we're here, now you see location down here. I could change the opacity, and location refers to the location. So you see the numbers changing as I pull this. So if you know what percentage that is, you can input that there, but otherwise you don't need to. Also, this slider here sets the medium tone, where the medium area is. So wherever the middle is, you can change that here. So you have two ways to set location. Okay, I'm going to kind of put this back there. Okay, now I can change the direction, reverse the gradient, so I can reverse that there. Also in this pull down menu, I have some presets that are already here. We're not going to deal with that right now, but they're available. And here I have a linear gradient set, and you can change that to radial. So let's go back to linear for now. Also, you can set the angle that you want here. So 90 degrees, 45, and so forth. So let's go back to 0. Okay, so now let's close this. Now, even without the gradient panel open, you can still make some changes. So directly on here, so I click the gradient tool, and this bar automatically comes up. And when I hover over the bar, I get all the functionality that I had with the gradient panel open. So I can move this, and also I can change the rotation, change where it starts. This is the start point. So that kind of defeats the purpose if you do that there. Now, also one thing I didn't show you on the panel, but you can do it on the panel here and here as well. Now you see when I hover over and I get a plus mark, that means I can add. When I get the plus mark, okay, let me show you here, because it needs to be a little bit difficult. Temperamental monitor. So when I get a plus mark here, I can add a slider. And likewise, I can change the color. And I can add as many as I want. And move these around. Now, so I have a kind of a nice rainbow effect going here. Okay, now also with the gradient tool, I can pull to change the direction here, start it however I want, any angle. And again, I can move the sliders here. So with a less temperamental monitor, you can add the sliders also. Okay. Now, also with the gradients, there is this is the gradient library, so we kind of saw that before, so I can change the gradients here. So this is blue to transparent, so it's picking up the blue in the background. I have a vignette effect and yellow to orange. Okay, so now not only do you have these here, but also under the menu you have a whole gradient library of different things that you can use. So color harmonies. So you have quite a selection. Okay, so anything that you want may already be done, but again, the best thing probably is to create it yourself. So let's go back and do that. So let me go back to what I had, to red, add a slider, yellow, and green. Let's make that a little darker green so it can be seen. And let's make my orange a little bit darker also. There, I think that's good. Okay, now as you saw when I went to the gradient library, the gradient I previously selected wasn't there. So you have to save the gradient. So you do that in the swatch library. Now you can do two ways. I can pull this to the swatch library and drag it, or I can just put new swatch. Let's put rainbow. And now that is added. So you can see if I go to the one next to it, and then here, so here's my rainbow swatch. All right, so that's how you save a custom gradient that you've already created. All right, now